Hi everyone, Joanne here from Run Ireland. I'm joined by Ray O'Connor, the owner and managing director of Run Ireland. And Ray is off to compete in Peru in the Marathon des Sables across the desert. He is flying out to Peru this weekend. We decided to catch up with him on Black Friday and see what he's been getting up to over the past few weeks in preparation for the race. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning.
Did you get any training done today?
No, I stopped training on Wednesday, so that was it. Last gym session done. Training for about 5 months now, so done. If I'm not ready now, I'll never be.
And tell us, Ray, why did you choose the MDS Peru?
I had stopped training about 2-3 years ago, just for a number of reasons. And a friend of mine, Ruth Ann, contacted me in May and said, "Do you fancy going to Peru?" And I said, I need a challenge. So I said, let's go to Marathon des Sables. So I've done it before. She has as well, the one in the Sahara. So this is a brand new event organised by the Marathon des Sables organisers. And it's in the Ica Desert in Peru. So leaving tonight.
Now it's billed as the toughest foot race on earth, Ray. But why on earth would you do it?
Good question. It's billed as the toughest foot race on earth. I'm pretty sure it's not, to be honest with you. There are a lot tougher things out there, but it has its own unique aspects to it, I suppose. I suppose what is unique about the Marathon des Sables is you have to carry everything. So they'll give you water in a tent, but you have to carry all your food, all your cooking, all your bits and pieces, clothing, sleeping bag. You have to carry everything. So I suppose that's one of the big challenges in the event. We're covering 250 kilometres in the Ica Desert, but I think starting off with about 22 pounds on my back is going to be the big challenge with this one.
And tell us, how does the race break down? Because I know you've done 146 marathons, you've done 10 marathons in 10 days twice, you've done the Marathon des Sables, you've a huge amount of miles under the legs as an ultra endurance runner. But I mean, how does this break down? How many days is it going to take you to cover the mileage? And what sort of miles are you covering every day?
So it's roughly, I say roughly, they haven't given us any maps. So we don't know. We're being picked up in Lima on Sunday, being brought out into the desert. They say it's roughly 250 kilometres over 6 days. So it'll break down roughly 40k. Then the long day is about 80k. And then we have a day off. And then we do a marathon, which is 42k. And then the last day will be a bit of a fun run of about 10k.
I love the way you say a fun run. Now, tell me a little bit about the heat you're going to expect out there. Is it going to be extremely hot? Is the humidity going to be absolutely huge out there? Or is it going to be a very arid race? And how are you going to fight off the dehydration, the sunburn and the fatigue while you're on the course?
So one of the things I really, really like about the Marathon des Sables concept, and I was interviewed in the middle of the 2009 event in the Sahara, and Marion Finucane on Radio 1 interviewed me, and she said, "Where are you, Ray?" And I said, "I have no idea." and one of the beauties of this thing and the build up to it is that they don't tell us where we're going. They don't tell us what the route is going to be. They don't really tell us much about the conditions. I was looking at AccuWeather. It says that the Ica is going to be around 34 degrees. Got an email yesterday saying that it could be up to 45 degrees. It's going to be hot. The Ica Desert is the driest desert on Earth. So I don't know what that means, but it just means it's going to be hot. How do we cope with that is very difficult. I mean, you don't acclimatise yourself to something like that because, like, we're flying into Lima, arriving there on Saturday evening, we'll be in the desert on Sunday, I think. You know, I don't know, but they're going to drop us out there. You just have to cope with it. You go into day one, you run, walk, trek, do whatever you have to do to get the distance done. I personally like heat. I did a bit of training in Portugal there in the summer. I absolutely loved 30 degrees. What it's like 35 degrees, I don't know. And I think that's one of the beauties of the thing. We just don't know.
So you really are kind of going into the unknown despite all the preparation that you've done. So Tell us a little bit about the type of training that you've been doing. I think you've been in the gym for the first time in ever, I would say, coming in and out of the office, and you might have a 10-mile run done, and then you might come for lunch and then say, right lads, I'm off to the gym, and you come back and you're like so proud of yourself, having lifted weights, and your body shape has changed slightly as well. So tell us a little bit about how the training has gone and what's been different about your training for this event than the 2009 event.
Okay, so I concentrated an awful lot the last time on running. I thought, right, it's an ultra event, so we're going to be doing lots of miles, you know, running upwards of 100 miles a week for maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that was fine. I mean, that's one approach. But what I found was with the backpack, which the backpack that I was bringing. What I found with this was the weight of it on my shoulders was immense, and I really struggled with the weight of that and all the equipment. So whilst I got through it, I didn't get through it as comfortably as I'd like. This time I flipped it on its head completely. Huge amount of gym work, and actually relatively light on running, because I know I can cover marathon distance. You know, not handy, but I can do a marathon in about 3 hours 40, we'll say. So I'm not a fantastic runner. I never was a fantastic runner. I know I can do the distance.
For some of the rest of us, 3:40 would be a huge goal.
Yeah, absolutely. But and like 3:40 is, but a 3:40 marathon, you'd think that when you hear about somebody going off into the desert that he's going to be like running 2 hours 50 for a marathon. It's not really about that for me. It's about, okay, well, I want to complete the distance, I want to complete the event, but I want to do it as comfortably as possible. So I've concentrated an awful lot on core and strength, and I have a personal trainer, my nephew Kieran O'Connor, who's been fantastic. Been in the gym for 5 months now. A huge amount of core work, doing the plank, doing all these bits and pieces, inverted rows and all this sort of stuff. So my core is much stronger, my shoulders are much stronger, my back is much stronger. So I feel actually, even though I haven't done the mileage in running, I'm feeling an awful lot more confident going into this thing that I'm strong.
Okay. And you mentioned the bag there, but I want to talk about some of the equipment that you bring with you, because that bag is going to be filled with any amount of food, your calories that you have to carry. Talk me through some of the preparation that has to go in on the other side. So I see here you've some of the dried foods that you're going to be bringing with you, chicken noodle and Thai curry and things like that. These are dry freeze-dried food, and you're going to have to cook them up in the middle of the desert.
So again, the preparation is huge. I mean, you have all these checklists. You see, we get one opportunity when we arrive on the start line on day one. You have your backpack and you have nothing else, and you have no opportunity to. You can't go back to the car and faff every morning. Like when we go out for a run, we're faffing in the car and we're getting a hat and we're changing everything. We have one opportunity, and that's it for the week. So you have to be ready, and you have to have your stuff ready. So there's a huge amount of preparation and logistics and all that. But one of the things that you mentioned is the food. And I particularly like Mountain House. I think it's just nice. And then expedition food. For me, it's all about weight to calorie. Mm-hmm. So, I'm considering taking the food out of this pack maybe, because that pack might be, 2 grams or something. And we have a lot of them, so I'm going to have to go through about 3 of these packs a day. Sorry to interrupt you,
but what kind of calories are you looking at every day that you need to consume?
We're obliged, and you have to have 2,000 calories a day, and you have to consume 2,000 calories a day. So we'll be starting off in the week for 7 days, 14,000 calories. So I'm really trying to maximize weight versus what I'm going to get out of it. And like this pack here says it's 290 calories per serving. There's 3 servings, so that's like nearly 900 calories in that. And this one is 800. So like those two together, if I had a Thai curry and a chicken noodle, I'm at 1,700. And I might back that up with power gel shots. I think it's about 200 in that or something like that. So like that's nearly your 2,000 calories. So and what's lovely about these as well is they don't give us anything. They basically give you cold water to finish, so you have to look after them. You can't really rehydrate these with cold water. You have to do it with hot water. So that means building a little fire, and you get your little stove out, and you get your. So at the end of a run,
the end of a run, all you want is an ice bath.
All you want is an ice bath, and here we are digging little holes in the desert and boiling up our water. And will you have tea bags with you for the cup of tea? I will definitely have tea bags and sugar as well. But that brings in a whole other thing as well. Things that you're going to deprive yourself of. I like sugar in my tea, and I'm wondering now, will I bring sugar with me? Because a sachet of sugar is weight. I'm thinking constantly, am I going to sacrifice having no sugar for 7 days and just get it out of these power bars? And it's a consideration. And I'm leaving tonight and I haven't decided that yet. Okay, tell me a little bit about some of the other bits of equipment that you have. I know he's been messing in the office for the last 3 weeks with a particular piece of equipment that he loves, that and this other one here as well. So there's 2 pieces actually, and this is one that I'm really pleased about. It's a compulsory item says that you have to have a knife with a metal blade. So I did a lot of research, and again, it's all about weight. and power and all that. And I'd be kind of thinking, like, why does a runner need a knife? I don't know yet, and I'm actually quite scared as to why I need a knife. Like, there's no bears in the desert.
You'd hope not.
But no, what I really like about this is a Spyder Co knife, and it's just something that I'm going to keep. And the reason I've been messing with it is because, you know, when you have all your equipment and you have your backpack and all that, and if you need to use a knife for a bear, no, I'm only joking, but if you need to use a knife, it's great to get it open in one hand. It's not a flick knife, but it's really, really good. So I'm
It'd be
really
good for
proud of
cutting open the sachets and
Look, it's going to be handy. I know I'm definitely going to use that.
Okay.
It's light. It's good.
Okay, we'll put it away now, Ray. I'm getting worried sitting beside you with it.
And this is the other thing. Another little gizmo. It's a lighter. And every time I flick it, I've been messing with this in the office. Every time I flick it, people get a bit scared because it sounds like a flamethrower.
You'll have all of the gasoline out of it used by the time you get there. But the other piece of equipment I'm concerned, I suppose, at querying is a head torch.
Yeah.
How many hours of daylight will you have in the desert? And why do you need a head torch?
So Petzl, this particular product, and I have a few other ones, but Petzl is a brand that I particularly like, and it is really, really powerful. And as you can see, it's a very powerful light. Obviously, the sun is going to go down at 6:30. It's going to be dark. It's going to be very dark because there's no street lights out where we're going to be. So everything that you need to do after 6 o'clock is going to be used by head torch. And then, as I had mentioned, on day 4, we're going to be doing 80k. Now, 80k, 50 miles, a Dublin Marathon, you might think, yeah, sure, you know, you might do that in 8 hours or 10 hours, we'll say, right? 10 hours, most people would probably run 50 miles. But in the desert and in the Marathon des Sables, with the backpack and all the bits and pieces, it could take 18 hours because, you know, you could be traveling it over sand dunes or over different, it's a multi-terrain, so we could be going over mountain ranges, or we could be going through soft sand, or we could be going through trails or tracks or whatever. We don't know. But what we do know is you can get to a point where you're only making progress about 3 or 4k an hour because the terrain is just, and that happened to me before. So you're going to be running through the night, and like I'm going to find myself on the long run, which is going to be on Friday, I think. I definitely know I'm going to end up cooking one of those at probably 9 o'clock at night in the middle of nowhere in the Ica Desert with my trusty head torch. You mentioned about being out in the desert on your own. You know, a lot of the preparation that we do for events like these, or that you do for marathon, is all physical. So it's the core work, it's the running, it's all of that. But what about the mental side of things? You know, what tips and tricks have you taught yourself, or where's the mental strength going to come from to be able to continue on the middle of the desert? I know you're going over there with a fellow running colleague, but you mightn't actually see anybody for a while, or you might be on your own for the best part of, 12 hours on one particular day. And how are you just going to deal with the hallucinations that could happen out there and all of that? I'll be honest with you, it is scary. There are parts of it, I'm not dramatising it. I mean, there's 390 people doing this, so chances are you'll be around. And Ruth Ann is running with me. She's fantastic, super experienced. She's done this as well, so we'd probably do a lot of it together. But there could be a time at night on the long stage where you're on your own. Now everybody has a glow stick at night, so chances are you'll see a light in front of you, or you see a light behind you. But in the Sahara, there was one point where there was no lights in front of us and there was no lights behind us, and like, you're in a strange place. It's the other side of the world, and it's I won't lie, it can be scary. What you do though is, at the same time, you embrace that loneliness, you embrace the quiet and silence. Like, somebody asked me, like, would you be able to keep us up to date with your phone? And I won't have a phone because it's too heavy. So, like, you're out in the middle of nowhere basically. But something nice about that too. As distance runners, we like to go for a long run for 3 or 4 hours, and just that isolation is nice to get away from all the humdrum. And there's a really lovely silence in that, and in the desert or in somewhere very remote like that, and when all you can hear is the wind.
Are you excited?
I don't know whether I'm excited or nervous. I'm a bit of both. It's going to be brilliant. We're going to have such fun. I know we are. It's going to be a laugh a minute. It really is. Look, the biggest thing that stops people from finishing the Marathon des Sables apparently is blisters. And I don't have any wood, so I'll touch the head. I don't suffer from blisters. I am hoping to death, hoping against all hope, that I don't get blisters. If I don't, I'll survive this thing fine.
you're going to survive this thing, so you're going to turn up on the start line, you're going to get through it all the preparation is done. What sort of finishing time have you in mind? Or is it a case of, I'm going to turn up and I'm going to see how the whole race pans out?
Very few people say, I did the Marathon des Sables in X amount of time, because it's completely, time is completely irrelevant. Time goes out the window. Finishing time goes out the window, because like you can't compare one Marathon des Sables to the other. You can't say, well, I did the one in 2009 when it was raining. And another guy says, well, I was doing one in 2010 and it was like 45 degrees. So you can't compare them, and you can't compare the terrain as well. As I said, like you could be doing 3 or 4K an hour, or you could be doing 10 or 15K, 10 or 12K an hour. You know, it depends on the terrain. So look, all I want to do is get to the finishing line. The race director of this event, Patrick Bauer, is a bit of a legend, and he was the one that inspired me as a race director to greet every participant at the finish, and he greets every single person that finishes and gives them the medal personally and says, well done, congratulations. So I'm just looking forward to getting that handshake from that race director. It'll mean a lot. I'll have done the Marathon des Sables twice. I did 10 marathons in 10 days twice, 24-hour running twice. So Connemara 100 twice, Marathon des Sables twice. It's good.
So before we finish up, one last question. What's your next adventure?
Ooh, talk about the next one before the first one. Actually, yeah, I always did that. When I did my first marathon in the year 2000, I had already booked my second marathon. So yeah, I always jump one step ahead. I have a lifelong ambition to run what is considered to be the toughest foot race on earth, and that's Badwater. So in 2 years' time, I'll be 50, and hopefully in 2 years' time, I'll manage to qualify and hopefully participate in Badwater.
I think I'm going to wrap it up there and say from all of us at Run Ireland, Proactive, and all of the events that Ray O'Connor is involved with, and from all the team here, the very best of luck. We won't be able to dot watch, but we will be keeping an eye on the progress and looking out for information. If you want to find out more about Ray's journey, you can log on to runireland.com and follow us on Facebook or Twitter. So best of luck, Ray, and have fun.
Thank you.